Mickey, you talked about every interaction or communication or conversation adding improvement ultimately. And I'm fascinated by the concepts of value versus waste and how you came to associate those with communication. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, a big part of our practice is what we call the more with less assignments, which is basically taking waste out of a system, allowing a company to produce more results with less time, money, and stress. Well, when you get serious in that, who you have to appreciate are the great quality gurus, people like Deming and Duran and Crosby, who really worked on this notion of don't kid yourself about value. That value's got a test, and the test is, would people be willing to pay for that with their time and money? So the classic definitions of value usually go something like, something that's valuable is something that people would pay for. And if you look in a business environment, you could say customers, investors would be willing to pay for something that we as employees, business owners, associates would be willing and able to provide. Waste is something that they would not be willing to pay for. Well, we started looking at, that's happening in conversations all over the place. That we have conversations, we'd be embarrassed to have other people be in the room because we know they would think that conversation was a waste relative to their needs. So we thought, if you take something people are doing all day, every day, and look at it like a source of value or waste, it's a huge upgrade in the productivity in a single relationship, in a family, in a company. So we wanted to take those notions of value and waste that are brought to improvement in a quality context and just bring it to human interactions. Are they creating value or waste? And all we have to do is ask people, have you ever been in a meeting you think is a waste, and the point gets deeply made for people, because we find that there's a lot of people that wish they were having fewer meetings because they're not valuable.
So at a personal level, could it be that personal value is when relationships improve, or I feel that the relationship is getting better, and it's as simple as personal waste is when I feel like that relationship is deteriorating or getting worse?
Yes, and I would give a couple other things to, let's say, enrich the investigation there. So if we go back looking at our families, so you and I were talking earlier about our children, and I do currently be a parent to two teenagers. And I know that in those interactions with them, one of the tests for value is disclosure. Do they open up? Are they free to speak? Do they tell you things that actually put them at risk and trust that you're going to be a partner in dealing with the issue rather than just a critic? So I look at disclosure as one of the pieces of evidence that tells you that you're improving a relationship. People are opening, they're entrusting you with thoughts that are generally private and sometimes worrisome. You can put that in the context of a husband and wife, children, personal relationships, business relationships. So I think that notion of, do people relax and disclose, that tells you whether or not you're improving the quality of the relationship. Withholding, suppression, and a desire to get away from me and not want to talk to me, well, that would be negative evidence.
And that would be personal waste.
Yes, then that'd be some serious personal waste.